Welcome back, everyone. 1 year ago, 12 News made a commitment to our Water Watch campaign with one goal: to prevent as many drownings as possible. And even just one life saved makes the program so valuable.
And marking this anniversary, we're sharing the story of a young man who lost his life while out on the water with friends. And 12 News reporter Colleen Sikora spoke with his mother about how she is honoring his life.
An extraordinary life.
He was smart and handsome and kind, and most importantly, he was generous.
21-year-old Ryan Thomas, a student at ASU.
And the professor asked where they wanted to be 10 years from now. And Ryan said, I just want to be a good person because good people are remembered.
Remembered by Aunt Shannon Leibrock more than 15 years later.
When I look out on the water, I can picture him laughing and smiling and hanging out with his buddies.
Saguaro Lake in October 2008.
I know how much Ryan loved it here. I know that he had his last greatest day here.
A day of Ryan and 5 friends fishing coming to a close.
They were getting ready to dock the boat, and Ryan said he wanted to cool off one more time. He rolled off the side of the boat and unfortunately did not resurface. His buddies all jumped in to look for him, but unfortunately they weren't able to locate him.
Now,
this is the first one.
Family through the Ryan Thomas Foundation helping save others through his memory.
We wanted all the life jacket stations to be super accessible to people and right where they could see it.
Working with the Arizona Game and Fish Department to provide 25 life jacket loaner stations across Arizona, available for day use in a variety of sizes.
It costs you nothing but the time to put them on. And it'll save your life. It would have saved Ryan's life to have one of these on. And that's one of the hardest things, I think, for us, is that his death was preventable.
One step in being safe on the water.
Most drownings happen very unexpectedly. And so it's wanting people to be proactive and be prepared by wearing a life jacket so that when those mundane kind of just everyday occurrences happen, you're prepared. Be very aware of your abilities to swim. Don't drink and boat. You know, we want people to come out here and have the time of their life, you know, and not lose their life.
Last year, Shannon says 900 of these were replaced by Game and Fish. Life jackets, honoring a life Arizona boaters won't get to know.
We miss them every day. And so to be able to, in some way, introduce them to the people that never got to know how great he was really cool.
Colleen Sikora, 12 News.
What a way to remember him. And it's stories like that are one reason 12 News and Colleen was just honored over the weekend by the Drowning Prevention Coalition of Arizona. Tracy Fate from the coalition is here along with Dave Muncy, as many of you know, our Water Watch advocate. Tracy, I know that you honor several people throughout the year for their services, what they do in the community. But what was it about Colleen that really struck you?
Colleen's getting the stories that we need out there, and she digs right in, you know, and she's there. We can call her and say, you know, we're really seeing this. What can you do? And I love that. Yeah. And she's passionate about drowning prevention, just like we are.
Yeah, and it seems, you know, the message, and we're showing Colleen right here. Congratulations, Colleen. We are so proud of you. You know, Tracy, it seems like the message, we hear it time and time again, but yet the numbers are still higher. Why is that?
Right. So this year our numbers don't look good at all, but we have to remember it's not just kids drowning, it's adults too. So look at 2020's number. We had 14 kids, 33 adults. This year we had 18 pediatric, 4 kids, 1 teenager, and 52 adults.
That's almost double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy to see those numbers. And as a prevention person, it hurts. But there's some things that we've noticed. With our adults, they're swimming by themselves or they're not using life jackets. They need to use those life jackets. They save lives. And for kids, what we're seeing is these kids are drowning during non-swim times. So they're getting out into that backyard pool when nobody's out there.
When nobody's out there, or even during, you know, the winter months. We always think about the summer months.
Right.
But even in, you know, when
Year round.
it's not that hot out, but yet they're still finding their way to the pool.
Right, they're attracted to those. So what we're concentrating on is we want to get kids into life-saving swimming lessons so that they know how to turn and float. And we also encourage pool fences. Now, pool fences are expensive. So what can they do instead? Just putting those locks on the door and that high reach for that door, making sure that those windows don't go out to that pool area, sealing the doggy doors. So there's other things. And just a simple alarm on the door so the parents know when that child goes out. Yeah. And then adults, swim with somebody.
Yeah,
not
and a
by
life jacket.
themselves.
Yeah,
And use a life
especially out
jacket.
on the lakes and everything. Speaking of the lakes, you know, Colleen, you've done a million drowning stories before, sadly. But what was it about this particular story that really resonated with you?
You know, so I grew up on valley lakes. Like I'm from the valley. I had a pool in my backyard, but my second home was the lake. And Saguaro Lake in particular, like my family and I have done that very action that Ryan was doing that day, which is you had a long day, it's hot, you want to get out and get a dip in the water before you hop back in, you know, to get your boat back onto the trailer and all that things. And it's just so preventable, right? You know, Shannon, his aunt, had said that right at the end of like, if he just would have been wearing a life jacket, he'd be
It wouldn't
here.
have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And Dave, I mean, you've dedicated your entire career to warning people time and time again.
And we need to keep it up. We need to keep going. As you mentioned, you know, the numbers, they're all over the place, but we had a bad summer this summer. It's not going away. Drowning is going to be a problem as long as we have water and 2-year-olds and ages around that. Teach your kids to ask permission to use the pool. That's one thing. Have talk with your children about how dangerous that pool can be. Everybody talks about all the fun you have in the pool, but there has to be a warning. You know, if you buy a hair blower, it says, don't use this in the shower. You know, and you have to say, well, don't, there's certain things in a pool you can't do in a pool either. And like you said, always have companionship when you're at the pool, no matter what your age is. You know, people think, oh, I can swim, I can do this. Well, not if you bump your head on the side, not if you get a cramp, not if you have a heart attack, whatever. There are a million things that can happen. Never swim alone.
Yeah. Well, Dave, thank you so much. Colleen, keep up the great work. And Tracy, thank you so much for always spreading the awareness. We so appreciate all of your efforts. Together, we can help make a difference.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Troy, over to you.
Yeah, good message. Thank you, guys. Chris